Hey people, I found some top secret shit here they don't want you to know. This is the ancient shipping mark of the Carolingian dynasty. Wiki's got a huge page on this. Say it was founded in 613 as mayors. They say it was named after some of these Charles here, Charlemagne, named for grandfather Charles Martel. And I think Charles the Great was in there. And they'll say Charles means a free man. And it's where Carolina come from, North Carolina and South Carolina, the Freeman's line. And I was reading that movie yesterday. Some crates they was curious about this. The diary goes to the bottom of those. The Ren of Coveron, the name of Coveron, a Mai's design on get it to Vias Israel, Kates in Nesna, the Kates in Dead, the Kates Nesna. And it was making me think of that symbol. And so they're saying this says Charles as in a K-R-L-S or K-R-A. You see the alchemist A in here. But it's not. This is a J. This is a compass. This is an arrow pointing at a J. And the K is for king. There's no way a king is going to have this weak leg on his K, on his first letter. It's going to have a solid bottom. This is a J. An arrow pointing north. Start here. J. I. North, south. I-S. East. R-A-L. Israel. And Charles was their secret symbol to get their stuff to Israel. They had to claim the name of Charles because they did something that wasn't quite so right in the past. At the end of line 9, the old drum was smacker on. Somebody's coming to war. And Wiki's got a huge page on this, and that's when you know they're trying to cover something up. But they'll say Charles means free man. Carolina, the free man. But they'll say they came from noble backgrounds. And that's not the same. And then I seen it down here in line 11. We're talking about, and come know for a people it's having understanding. And it was in there the do it of the Carlos, the freemen. And do it of the freemen is it in each on Sevesin, to submit the data of to. And so that got me thinking, why was the name even changed to Israel? What were they covering up then? And every time they give a name, they give one or more words that are similar to it to kind of tell you what the meaning means. And said not Jacob shall be called anymore your name, but Israel, for you have struggled with God and with men and have prevailed. Struggled, they say. And you see right off they're trying to hide something. This is, and he said. Every time they called somebody's name, it's frat, Q-R-A. But what this is way more, and that's what it means. It's way more. This is the guy who was in charge from the beginning, day to second line, third line, and way more is what he said. That's not enough. I want way more light. And so, they've been fighting all night, and so he finally submits to the terms. Okay, what do you want? And he says, way more layoff in Yammer who'd smack. Way more layoff. Not, but lay off. I want less of all this smack you yammering. Lay off and yammer who'd smack. To see 'em, to give 'em. To see 'em is rule. And C's writ. C is C2, give the works. K-I, give works. C2. And C's writ. And C's writ 'em all him and a manse Omansim. They always have a different word for man, but this is amance, to make them free. And sees rhythm all him and amance whatical. And this is the writ of Amansa. The writ, that's the same as the covenant. To see is writ. See we get a covenant here. See is a rhythm of God, a writ with God. And I found where it explains these God words a lot better too. And amance whatical. Whatical is what you collected. There you say a call is to eat. And sometimes even a call they say is to eat. And in the Greek it says, and to hip in, to hip in. Who knows? Who's hip in the secret? And hip in order of the clee, the settage, attach the settage, the stage, the settings, and it's has to do with the time, where's the sun sitting. And hip in order of clee the settage, yet to onum as of yakin. All is rule the stage too. All is rule the stage to onum as of Audi in his chooses, whatever he wants, as of Audi in his chooses. And so you see Israel has a different meaning in the Greek. In his chooses, his rule, whatever he wants. And Audi in his chooses, and his chooses omit, the of omitting thereupon, omitting thereupon the dynatos. And, that's power, a dyno, power source, generator. But I believe it's a secret code for the dino toes, the 3 toes, which would be these old dinosaurs here, the rhinoceros. And so they're trying to erase the rhinoceros. And that's what the name means. They say it's the nose horn, but it's the name to cover. So it seems that Israel was cooking up some myth and leaking out a myth that it comes from the rhinoceros horn, because they didn't like the rhinoceros because it would stomp their fire every time they tried to burn out the fields. Rhinoceros charge out there and stomp the fire out. And that's the whole meaning of Israel. It means IS, to work fire, first knowledge of, ISRAL, to make fires first power of. And so they were hating the rhinoceros. They were out here trying to clean out the tundra. The dragon is the tundra contained. And they were trying to get to the scolio in the tundra because they were in the Dallas. And I believe what it's talk about is they was changing the name. They come from the fairies of Dactyl. And I believe that's what that means, is the fairies article. When Adam was first naming animals, he seen this looks like an old dinosaur here. He says, "What's your name?" Rhino didn't say anything. He says, "Why you got that big horn on your nose?" Rhino says, "Fofo." Adam says, "What's that mean?" He said, "Fuck around and find out." He chased him down. He stuck that horn up his ass. That's where the big serpent of Pappus gets his name. Same thing. Fofo. But every time we fight and win our freedom, the guy who writes up the contract, the jack of Yammer, who'd smack to see him, and it's not his rule to see his writ, to writ 'em all him, to amansum but he puts these secret marks in here and turns all the meanings around. So when you get to court legally, you're still just a slave. See him larses, to steal's rule, backwards and forwards after the Lars's rule. And sitter's writ. Sitter's writ. Whoever's here now owns the property. I don't care who's been paying the taxes. The sitter's writ. And the sitter's writ to see from the mile all him vom from missing Hanson, from missing handsome, from the misfits, from the missing handsome, what I call. You're eating from the misfits. You're not a first-class citizen. So it looks like there was more wars about the same thing, and it tells how they take over land. And so I'll start here at number 2. I said I would do them side by side with the Hebrew, but I think I'm just going to read down because it's 2 different stories. I'm just going to read through the Greek first, and then I'll do the Hebrew. And I'll probably get the whole Greek in one 25-minute movie, maybe. All right, I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.